Hola amigos de YouTube, somos Gaming Truth y os vamos a presentar un nuevo juego. Se llama Stanley de Stanley Parable. Está en Steam, disponible para Windows y para Mac. Es un juego bastante random. Se ha llevado bastantes premios y está jugando desde un rato. Y he dicho, pues mira, está simpático, vamos a probar.
Stanley worked for
Esta
a
es la
company in
historia.
a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Vale, pues como habéis visto, somos Stanley, trabajamos en una empresa pulsando botones en un teclado que nos llegan por la pantalla de nuestro ordenador. Somos el empleado 427 y hoy no hay nadie en la empresa, no tenemos botones que pulsar y nos vamos de excursión por ahí.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Y tenemos esta voz en off en la cabeza que no sabemos lo que es. Podemos abrir. Solo he abierto yo. Vamos a tocarlo todo. Nada, aquí no hay nada. A ver si por aquí. Nada. Si tocamos los ordenadores que estén encendidos los apagamos. Seguro que hay algún logro o algo en plan. Apaga todos los ordenadores. Nada. Nada. Papeles tirados por el suelo. ¡Hala, hala! ¿Qué haces, Stanley? Tranquilo. Nada. Nada. No hay nada.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Y en esto consiste el juego. La voz esta nos va diciendo cosas y nosotros pues podemos elegir hacerle caso o no. Así que no vamos a hacer caso.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Vale. Vamos a seguir tocando por aquí, así podemos abrir alguna puerta. No. 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 Nada. Y llegamos a la sala de empleados. Unas notas.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood drinking it all in.
Nada, que no podemos hacer nada.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Venga, vamos a tomar esta puerta. Es que me da cosa, ¿eh? ¿Le hacemos caso o no? Sí, no, no, no. Que no. No le hemos hecho caso. Aún podemos volver para
Stanley
atrás.
was
Ya
so
no.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Dice que si Stanley era tan malo, ¿cómo seguirá en la empresa? Pues no sé, lo sabrás tú, voz en off, que pareces que lo sabes todo. Vamos, por aquí solo tengo una opción, ¿no? Subirme aquí.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
¿Qué pasará con Stanley? A ver qué hay aquí. No hay nada. Deja que ella vuelva a tu vida. ¿Quién será ella? ¡Hola!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
No, no te pienso hacer caso. Voz en off. Déjame salir de aquí. Que no quiero coger el teléfono. ¿Puedes enchufar? Toma. Que ha cogido el teléfono.
Oh goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Sí, he desconectado el
wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
No, tío, que no.
The phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed
¿Qué pasa?
Sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored the basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
¿Qué dices, tío?
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack and crack."
Práctica. A ver, que nos han puesto un vídeo para ayudarnos a elegir cómo elegir las decisiones. Y ahora pone práctica.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember, that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Vale.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
Hola.
But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
No, no quiero ir por ahí. Déjame elegir a mí. No, creo que en esta vez no tengo elección. Vale, vengo por aquí. ¿Y ahora qué? ¿Vuelvo para atrás? ¿No puedo volver hacia adelante? Déjame. No. Vale, pues nos han puesto un vídeo de... Tienes que elegir la decisión correcta. Tienes que tener sentido a la hora de elegir las cosas. Hola.
Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
¿Y cómo salgo de aquí? ¿O se abre esto? Ah, vale, se abre esto. Por aquí tiene que haber alguna forma de que yo vaya por otro lado, seguro. Para seguir desestabilizando la historia. Yo quiero entrar por esa puerta. Antes estaba abierta. ¿Este cuadro? A ver, ¿a dónde me lleva la voz en off? Oh. Estamos en la sala de empleados. Y quiero tomar un café.
You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Tomarás la puerta de la izquierda. Por lo que tú lo digas. Flipado. Luego que me cierro la de la derecha. A ver.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Claro. ¿Qué hago ahora? ¿Vuelvo a hacerlo mal? ¿O esta vez lo hago bien? Y pues creo que lo voy a dejar aquí y esta decisión la vais a ver en el próximo vídeo. Espero que os haya gustado, que le deis me gusta, favoritos, que os suscribáis al canal, que nos sigáis en Twitter @YouTube, en Facebook, True YouTube y nos vemos en otro vídeo. Adiós.